KREM 2 News at Noon begins now.
Right now on KREM 2 News at Noon, we have new details in the case of a Pullman toddler who was allegedly kidnapped and taken to Mexico. Why the toddler's grandfather is now in court.
And we have a beautiful day weather-wise for most of the inland Northwest, though we are tracking where some storm chances will arise both today and tomorrow.
All right, we have some political news to talk about. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are set to debate. We have details on where and when. Hi, everyone. It is good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin with this news coming in over the past hour. The father of the man accused of kidnapping his Pullman daughter and taking her to Mexico was in court. So Aung's father, his name is Jamie, is also accused of conspiracy to kidnap. According to court documents, Jamie and his son Aaron sent encrypted messages to each other. The documents also say that James bought burner phones and stored a car a month before the alleged kidnapping. The judge entered a not guilty plea for James Aung, and right now his son Aaron Aung is in the Spokane County Jail. He's being held on an international parental kidnapping charge. According to a federal criminal complaint, the FBI and Border Patrol found photos and video of Aung crossing the border back on June 1st. He was found in Mexico with his fiancée. As of now, she has not been charged. Meanwhile, a Boise inmate accused of killing a man while on the run from prison faced a judge with a new high-profile attorney yesterday. Skylar Meade is facing the death penalty, and now he's being represented by the same attorney who is defending accused Moscow murderer Brian Kohberger. KREM 2 Shannon Maui traveled to Nez Perce County to learn more.
Skylar Meade's arraignment lasted less than 10 minutes, but this will be a huge case in Nez Perce County. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Court records show Meade was indicted by a grand jury in Nez Perce County back in June for the first-degree murder of 83-year-old James Maui. Though homicides and death penalty cases are somewhat rare in this county, I did speak to prosecutor Justin Coleman, who handled a death penalty case just last year for a man accused of killing a woman and her son. That case ended in a plea agreement and life sentence. Coleman says Meade's attorneys, Rick Cudahy and a familiar face, Ann Taylor, are both certified to handle death penalty cases. And in another familiar move we saw in Taylor's defense of Brian Kohberger, Meade did not enter a plea.
To the charge of murder in the first degree, are you prepared to enter a plea at this time, or do you wish to have a delay in that plea?
Your Honor, he intends to stand silent.
Right. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Judge Michelle Evans entered a not guilty plea for him. Meade will serve a life sentence for his prison escape in Ada County. A trial date has not been set, with Meade due back in court in September for a status update. In Lewiston, Shannon Maui, KREM 2 News.
Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have agreed to a debate next month. ABC will host the September 10th debate. Both Fox and NBC are requesting two other debates. Trump wants the other debates to be on September 4th and 25th. So far, Harris has not responded. Trump also said the campaign has agreed to have Senator J.D. Vance face off against Governor Tim Walz in a vice presidential debate. CBS would host the VP debate. However, a date has not yet been set.
This close, bro. Dude, he turned around on me. He's straight up.
All right, we're getting in new video, and it gives some more insight into the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. This happened last month. It shows a Butler Township police officer describing what he saw after he was lifted onto the ledge where a shooter opened fire. CBS News obtained this new body cam video. There is no audio in parts, but you see a police officer signaling for a boost so he can check out the roof where we now know the gunman was positioned. A Secret Service sniper shot and killed the gunman seconds after he opened fire. Today, Idaho and 14 other states filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration. The federal suit hopes to block a rule that would give people known as dreamers access to tax breaks through the Affordable Care Act's health insurance. The rule is expected to allow over 100,000 people brought to the U.S. illegally as children to enroll. The lawsuit argues that the rule would encourage more immigrants to come to the U.S. illegally. The rule goes into effect November 1st. The Affordable Care Act's enrollment also opens that day. That comes just 4 days before the presidential election. All right, it is 12:05 right now, and it is a beautiful sunshiny day. We're going to join meteorologist Thomas Patrick. He is outside on the KREM 2 Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, what do you know for the weekend?
Yeah, well, waiting patiently for the last couple of minutes out here, Laura, actually starting to warm up pretty quickly. Even with the white shirt, I can tell it's starting to get pretty warm out here, and the temperatures certainly support that notion. 83 degrees currently as of noon, should be up to about 90 degrees or so by this afternoon. But thunderstorms are in the works for some in the inland northwest for the next 2 days, and that is what has been gathering my focus here. There are red flag warnings for the northern Cascades. This does include Omak and Winthrop, Chelan, and Wenatchee. That's just because any lightning risk means that there is an elevated fire risk in tandem, whether any of the storms that pop up will be dry or not. And actually look for yourself. They are exactly right along the Canadian border. In fact, these storm cells are north of Winthrop, but just west of Oroville. And that's what we're tracking right near that Canadian border along the northern Cascades range here in Washington. The rest of the inland northwest, just absolutely mostly sunny with those temperatures into the low 90s today. But coming up, that thunderstorm chance becomes a little bit wider across the inland northwest. So we'll show you what time frame to maybe just anticipate the chance for a few isolated thunderstorms come tomorrow. Those forecast details are in just a few minutes.
This week marks 1 year since the start of the deadly Maui wildfires. The fires killed 102 people and devastated the historic community of Lahaina. The disaster became known as the deadliest modern-day fire in the U.S. It is the worst natural disaster to ever impact the islands. Hawaii's Governor Josh Green hopes a recent $4 billion settlement with Hawaiian Electric will help people start over. Officials say, however, recovery could take decades.
We want to make sure that all the kids are set up for success for the school year.
We want kids to be successful. So a community celebration is helping kids and their parents as they get ready for school. How you can help out coming up after a short break.